This video course was created by Invictus Technology Services for the purpose of helping people learn Microsoft 365 topics. We do not represent Microsoft and will be using publicly available information to create this course. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Part 1. Planning and Designing Your Microsoft 365 Tenant. A tenant refers to a dedicated instance of the Microsoft 365 service that an organization receives and owns when it creates a relationship with Microsoft. Each tenant is unique and separate from other tenants, and the name of a tenant cannot be changed, so organizations must choose their name carefully. The tenant stores user information such as passwords, profiles, and permissions, as well as groups, applications, and other information related to an organization and its security. This course will cover the key areas that organizations must consider when creating their Microsoft 365 tenant, including subscription options, which I have displayed on the screen for you, tenant components, and overall migration process. Reviewing subscription options. When planning for Microsoft 365, it's important to review the available subscriptions and determine which one best suits your organization's needs. Choosing the right subscription ensures that users have access to the necessary features and services. There are various subscription options available in Microsoft 365, such as Microsoft 365 Business, Enterprise, and Education. Each one caters to a specific needs and has different features and services. For small to medium-sized organizations, Microsoft 365 Business subscriptions offer cloud collaboration solutions and have a user limit of up to 300. There are 4 different options: Microsoft 365 Apps for Business, Business Basic, Business Standard, and Business Premium. Each one has different features such as access to desktop versions of Office apps, email hosting, teamwork hubs, and cloud storage. For medium-sized and enterprise organizations, Microsoft 365 Enterprise subscriptions provide cloud collaboration solutions, compliance tools, an intranet site, web conferencing, and the ability to include an unlimited number of users. There are 4 options: Office 365 E3, E5, and F3, and Microsoft 365 Apps for Enterprise. These subscriptions offer similarities such as online versions of Office apps, cloud file storage, email hosting, and intranet sites, but also have different features such as meeting broadcasts for up to 10,000 users and advanced security features. It's important to become familiar with the functionality and subscriptions provided by each Microsoft 365 plan to ensure that you select the one that meets your organization's needs. I will be posting links in the description of the video that I have been showing here on the screen. Examining the components of Microsoft 365 Enterprise Mobility and Security. The table below provides an overview of the enterprise mobility and security components included in Microsoft 365 Enterprise. It also explains the core concepts necessary for understanding how to effectively use these services. These services enable organizations to protect their employees' identities and devices, as well as control access to company data, both in transit and at rest. Microsoft Azure Active Directory provides a comprehensive set of identity management capabilities, including multi-factor authentication, device registration, self-service password management, self-service group management, role-based access control, application usage monitoring, rich auditing, and security monitoring and alerting. Azure AD includes premium editions such as Azure AD Premium P1, which provides identity management for on-premise, remote, and hybrid users. The Azure AD Premium P2, which includes Azure AD Identity Protection and Azure AD Privileged Identity Management. Azure Information Protection, or AIP, is a cloud-based solution that helps organizations classify, label, and protect their documents and emails through automated rules and conditions, manual actions, or a combination of both. AIP labels and policies are protected by Azure Rights Management, or ARM, and stay with the documents and emails regardless of location or whom they've been shared with. Microsoft Intune is a cloud-based enterprise mobility management service that allows an organization's workforce to be productive while keeping corporate data protected. It closely integrates with Azure AD for identity and access control and is used for device and application management. Intune's device management capabilities include configuring and protecting users' devices, such as Windows PCs, with support for Bring Your Own Device and corporate-owned device enrollment types. Choosing the best subscription for your organization. Organizations may deploy and use Microsoft 365 in different ways depending on their needs. Some may choose to move their entire on-premises infrastructure to Microsoft Azure and Microsoft 365, while others may opt for a hybrid solution by hosting some products on-premises and others in Microsoft 365, such as a Microsoft Exchange server or Skype for Business. Additionally, some organizations may start small and only use single software as a service offering like Exchange Online. When planning to purchase a Microsoft 365 subscription, organizations should consider the following: the business needs that drive the move to Microsoft 365, such as better availability, industry standard security, lower cost for hardware and software maintenance, and support for multiple devices and platforms. The current IT infrastructure, including any on-premise custom applications that may need to be moved to the cloud. The change management process, such as using Microsoft's Fast Track service for planning, design, deployment, and migration. The number of employees who will use Microsoft 365 and plans for future growth. Network requirements such as internet traffic increase and capacity of internal and external network connections. To help with planning, Microsoft provides a checklist that includes tasks such as determining deployment goals, inventorying the current environment, fixing potential blockers, making key decisions, setting up services, configuring the subscription, preparing the organization, and migrating and validating functionality. Planning your migration. When a business migrates to Microsoft 365 without proper licensing, it can result in issues such as the need to manually enter usernames and passwords multiple times a day, causing frustration for employees. To ensure a successful migration, it is important to plan and examine all necessary steps. The process of creating a tenant account for Microsoft 365 includes deciding which Microsoft 365 plan best meets the organization's requirements. Mixing different plans can be done according to business needs. Inventorying the current environment in the organization, including identify user accounts and mailboxes, client versions and configurations, file storage information, and online meeting and messaging systems. Making key deployment decisions, including user authentication, data migration, and hybrid integration. Fixing potential deployment blockers and cleaning up the organization. Configuring the Microsoft 365 subscription, including verifying domains, configuring application settings, and setting up single sign-on or SSO. Setting up accounts and mailboxes, and migrating email and files to the subscription. Microsoft's existing data to Microsoft 365 if necessary. Validating functionality. Migrating users over time allows for a hybrid environment until all users are migrated. It's important to note that the process for provisioning Microsoft 365 education, government, and nonprofit plans is different and not covered in this training. The sign-up requires a valid email address that already exists, and the email address created during the sign-up process will look something like username@organizationname.onmicrosoft.com cannot be used for the sign-up process. In summary, this video covered the important considerations for organizations when planning for their Microsoft 365 tenant. Again, a tenant is a dedicated instance for the Microsoft 365 service that organizations receive and owns when it establishes a relationship with Microsoft. Each tenant is unique and separate. It serves as the central container for different subscriptions and licenses that are assigned to user accounts. This module discussed the tasks that organizations must complete in order to optimize their network for access to Microsoft 365 for both on-premise and remote workers, and how to plan and configure the tenant for DNS domain changes, common services, and identity infrastructure to support secure user sign-on. Additionally, this module covered the key areas of subscription options tenant components, and the overall migration process that organizations must plan for when creating their tenant.